Oktoberfest has arrived at Aldi, but which of these beers should you be buying? Hello and welcome back to the channel, and yes, once again we are in with an Oktoberfest video, but this time we're taking it away from Germany. We're taking it to the UK supermarkets and specifically into Aldi, who, okay, a bit more than a week ago now, released their Oktoberfest specials, which does mean I'm a bit late to the game, but well, we had to prioritise the real Oktoberfest beers and so on, and this is when you're getting it, but hopefully they've still got a fair bit in stock. I've got two of the beers listed here today, but there are a few more. Listed in their weekly specials magazine, they have put that they've got Beck's Blue, which is the alcohol-free, regular Beck's, the Benediktiner Hell, the Benediktiner Weissbier, which are the two I have here, Erdinger and Erdinger Weissbiers, the Spartan Hells, Bitburger, and Paulaner Hell, and unfortunately the Brewdog Oktoberfest beer, which, well, let's just not say too much about that. Props to Aldi though, they have listed in that magazine which of these beers are actually made in Germany, which is a nice surprise. You don't have to go and work out which ones are actually made in Burton-on-Trent, so big win there. Two of them that are made in Germany are the two that I've got in front of me. The Benediktiner, I keep getting the names wrong. Benediktiner, the Benediktiner Hell, and the Benediktiner Weissbier. Both of these are on the list, and they are the two that I've got here for discussion because they are the most interesting at a distance, but let's talk about all of them. First off, the Brewdog and the Becks, they're not made in Germany. They're not really Oktoberfest beers. They can get in the bin. On the subject though of not really Oktoberfest beers, well, none of them are. None of these are fest beers. They are just German lagers of varying quality, but at least some of them feel a bit more fest special because, well, they're a limited run, or at least we can't get them all that easily in the UK. The alcohol-free Erdinger and the Erdinger Weissbier, look, are good. I don't dislike them. They're a quality beer, but I can go down to Tesco and get them all year round. So again, not feeling all that special. Same with the Paulaner. Now actually the Paulaner Hell, which they listed, is probably my go-to of the bunch that I know a lot about. It is something that I buy in pretty frequently, and at £6 for 4 cans, you know what, it's a good buy. £1.50 a can is about as cheap as good beer gets these days, and yeah, I do recommend you pick some up if you're not familiar with it. Kind of a similar story with Bitburger. It feels a little bit less Oktoberfest again because it's not one of the big Munich breweries. It's a bit lighter, a bit more of a refreshing lager than, well, a big bready German one, even though it is German. And again, look, I can go into any number of supermarkets and buy it pretty much whenever I want. I just don't get excited about it. Bitburger for me is like a food pairing lager. It's not really a get excited and celebrate Oktoberfest kind of beer. And finally, Spartan. Spartan, like Paulaner, are one of the big Munich 6 that take part in Oktoberfest officially, but their regular Helles is probably the weakest of the bunch. It's not bad by any means. If you've never tried it, by all means get some. You won't be ultimately disappointed, I don't think, but, well, it's just a bit average for German lager, which generally speaking is exceptional. So then we are left with these two, the two that I knew the least about. I have had the Benediktiner Hell on tap a million years ago, obviously not that long ago, but I can't remember it, if I'm entirely honest. Now, full disclosure, the reason that I'm making this video and it's a bit late and everything else is because I thought I'm not going to cover Aldi's stuff. I'll buy some in. I tried that and went, we need to talk about it. So yes, I do know what it's like sat here right now, but prior to this week, I didn't have a good idea. The Weissbier I have never tried. This is my first can of it. I'm going to share the experience with you. As you've probably guessed, I like the Hell. I really do, which is why I wanted to make this video. If they've still got some in, and they had loads in my Aldi store last weekend, just get in there and get what they've got, because again, £1.50 a can for both of these. In fact, all of the 4 packs, 500ml cans, £6 for 4. I'm not going to go as, well, it's a bargain. It is. In this economy, it's a relative bargain for an exceptional beer. So let's get into these. Representing one of the other things they were selling, Paulaner in that glass, and in fact representing another one with the Erdinger Weissbier glass. So let's get these poured out. The Benediktiner Hell, nice baby blue can. I'm digging the design. A lot of German beers can be a bit fusty in their design, and whilst this is definitely still a very kind of trad can, it's I don't know, it's just that whole blue wash thing, I quite like it. It is a 5% ABV on the nose. Hell, which means bright beer, bright lager. It's just a German lager, but, well, as you'll see, it's not very dark, but it's got a certain warmth to the otherwise pale nectar in there. It's a good looking beer. It pours well. This is actually the first time I've poured one into this particular glass, and, well, yeah, so far, no regrets. Now, this isn't a comparison video between these two beers. They are obviously going to be very different. It's just my take on the beers that Aldi have got in this year, with a direct review of two of them. So we'll start off with the Hell, since it's been poured in the glass. As I say, it is pale. It's meant to be light. It is a Hell, but it's just got a bit more robustness, a bit more warmth than some of them you find. Beautiful white head on it. Looks absolutely fantastic. Aromas are clean, I think it's fair to say. Slightly metallic twang, not unusual, especially in canned German beer. Just a hint of some quite sharp, grassy hops, much more so than the traditional Oktoberfest beers. It is more refreshing, it is a different beast, but very fresh, not quite zesty. It's just grassy, it really is, but smells lovely. The metallic twang, not ideal, but again, I think that's more packaging than anything else. It doesn't always show up on the flavour. So, cheers. Happy Oktoberfest. And the thing that gets me with this, you can tell already, straight in with a nice quality bit of like malt biscuity bite as soon as it hits the back of your tongue, which immediately just goes, I'm in Germany. And it's not something you get with all German beers. It's, for instance, like the Warsteiner, why I'm not that bothered about it. This, though, yes, it's not big, it's not rich, it's not super indulgent, but it does transport you straight to the heart of Bavaria in some weird way. It is, yeah, just that way inclined. I'm not sure actually where in Germany this is from. Is it even Bavarian? I don't speak German, so this is going to get slightly difficult. Brewed according to the German purity law, that's all they want to tell us. Oh, well, it's brewed in Ettal, which, according to my phone, is a municipality in Bavaria, Germany. So, yes, it takes us right to where it came from. Proving once again that I should have done some research before starting to record, but it's not the point. It is balanced. Quite... what's the word? The hop's doing a lot of work, but not necessarily. Normally goes quite fruity, it's quite zesty, it's quite tangy, or it's quite... There's something else here. It's almost not a flavour. And when I'm going to say refreshing, it's going to sound like the biggest cop-out of a descriptor. But what I mean is, you know when you bite into a melon for the first time, you've not had one for years, it's a hot day. That experience, I don't know why years, well, I'm making very... But you've not had one for a while, you don't have the immediate memory, and you bite into one and you remember just kind of the amount of juice and liquid and the refreshing property of the thing takes you by surprise a bit. That's what I'm getting in this, along with a nice big rich biscuity base from the malt, and as a result it's beautifully balanced, endlessly refreshing, and, well, just what I want out of a staple beer in my beer fridge for any given day. Let us move on then to the Weissbier. This comes in at 5.4%. It is a bit stronger, and the can has failed. It's done that thing, I don't know if you can tell. It will show up on the camera if I lean it. I don't want to spill it everywhere. You see where it's done the thing where it kind of opens the back of the can but not the front? It's just annoying. There we go. Weissbier in a can, I'm sure I have had one, but not many by any means. We'll try and get the nice pour going. Oh, That's why you don't get Weissbier in a can. It gets stuck in the bulbous end, so to speak, of your Weissbier glass. Now, not the easiest to pour out of a can of Weissbier, so maybe deduct some points. If you are going to buy Weissbiers as an occasional thing and you don't have a Weissbier glass and don't want to get one, it is really difficult to do them justice without the full experience of what is basically a chair leg and the proper pouring method, which is don't do what I just did, pour it a bit slower, and then as you get to about a centimetre in the bottom of the can, just spin it round, make sure you pick up any yeasty goodness out of the can and get it into your beer. I wouldn't recommend that with all beers, but with the Weissbier, it is a must. So I'm going to wait for that to calm down. I'll empty the can and we'll get reviewing. Now the entire can is in there, but it's not looking very practical to review. Let's be honest though. Look, what you want from a Weissbier is a big, thick, pillowy head that almost has a bizarre and unnatural amount of surface tension. Look at it. It just goes with the flow and almost no chance of spillage. The colour on it, I don't know if it's coming across to you, but in front of the studio lighting, it's a beautiful, deep, rich kind of tangerine hue to it. Absolutely lovely looking thing. I'm going to give it a go on the aroma, but I think you know what's going to happen. Okay, a bit more than I was expecting. I'm going to say it's obvious. It's got that de facto wheat beer yeast funk. You can't get away from it. It's slightly sweet shop-esque, but it's a bit estery. And look, it smells like a wheat beer is meant to. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's got notes of a well-lit Christingle, but look, it smells like a Weissbier. It's doing the business. It looks good. I'm just going to get into it and give it a go. Ultimately, the taste is what matters. Cheers. Yeah, okay. It is a big thumbs up. I do need a second sip to kind of just align my thoughts, but this is doing what I want a Weissbier to do. It does kind of sit very similar in a weird way to the way that Hell does. They are both very, very nice beers, but maybe both sat just in the chill out mid area of available German beer. Do you know what I mean? It's like they are acceptable. There's nothing wrong with them. They're very nice. If you break them apart and analyze them, actually they're exceptional, but maybe lacking just a bit of top end wow. But that's not always a bad thing, because top end wow is only top end wow when compared to things that are a bit less wow. And if it wasn't for the safe middle ground, well, the only thing to compare it to will be really bad beer, and then it would either be all really good or all really bad beer, and let's be honest, that's just not the world that we live in. So how am I really pitching this? If you want a Franziskaner and you want that big, heavy, almost doughy Weissbier, you might be fractionally disappointed, but it's actually got more body than the majority of other easily available Weissbiers, at least in the UK, and as a result, it's sensational. It's a little bit watery on the body. It is a little bit just low on flavour. There's hints of orange peel and a bit of spice somewhere, but it's not really distinct enough to know what it is. But it's not a bad thing, because I can taste the wheated value, and it just comes across in a very inoffensive way, and that's not always a bad thing. I think, cheers, yeah, of the opinion that the Hell is a better Hell than the Weissbier is a better Weissbier, if that makes sense. The Hell is better as a Hell than the Weissbier is as a Weissbier, but they're both damn enjoyable, and given the choice between this and the Erdinger, which is the other Weissbier they had on, it's a bit of a coin flip for me. They're kind of, in my mind, I've not got them to compare, but in my mind, much of a muchness. Erdinger, definitely on the less rich side, but maybe a bit more flavour, so this is just, it's richness without the flavour. It depends which one you prefer. But yeah, they are both solid choices. Have you bought any of these from Aldi? What did you think of them? Let me know in the comments. But yes, that really is my summary. If you're going to go buy any of them, I really do think this Hell is fantastic, but the Paulaner also a great shout. It's just, you can get it from other places more frequently. You can get it in Marks and Spencer's, you can get it in Majestic Wine, you can get it all over the place all year round. This less so, as a result, is a reason I would buy more of it right now. But yeah, that really is all I've got to say about it. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it if you haven't already. Subscribe if you'll be so kind. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.